If we are able to get the totality of our message through to even a few individual cells of your collective body, these few should be able to translate this information into forms of cultural expression that will bring about your awakening far more efficiently than our overt manipulations of the historical process. The message that is revealed in these pages is the key that will unlock your own latent informational input systems. We are here to put you in direct contact with the source of all information. Our mission is to bring a pre-fall state of awareness to all human beings who are able to respond, however different they may be, whatever background they may have come from, using whatever conceptual structures seem appropriate. These individuals will then be instructed to translate this awareness into forms of informational exchange appropriate to their respective cultural situations. As this new awareness increasingly filters into everyday levels of human function, and as more and more individual human cells become aware of what is taking place, the change will accelerate exponentially. Eventually, the psychic pressure exerted by a critical mass of humanity will reach levels that are sufficient to tip the scales. At that moment, the rest of humanity will experience an instantaneous transformation of a proportion you cannot now conceive. At that time, the spell which was cast on your race thousands of years ago, when you plunged into the worlds of good and evil, will be shattered forever. Even now, with the healing influx of new information, the spell is beginning to lift. Even as I speak these words, the materializing force fields of bondage and limitation are beginning to lose their influence on consciousness. During this period of vibrational transformation, each of you will have a variety of roles to play. Each of you will translate the life impulse into patterns appropriate to your environment and express this impulse in your daily living. I am now blending my consciousness with the cells of your body in order to provide you with some of the more specific information that I do occasionally relate, but I do this as little as possible. My primary function is to show you how to tap these systems of data retention for yourself. With guidance, you will learn to release your definitions of who you think you are, open yourself up to the experience of a much greater reality than you presently believe possible, and return to a level of consciousness where you will be able to communicate with us, not through cumbersome words and concepts, but directly through communion with all that is. Do you want to know more about extraterrestrials? Do you want a definition of angels? We are you, yourself, in the distant past and distant future. We are you as you were, would have been, and still are, had you not fallen from your original state of grace. We exist in a parallel universe of non-form, experiencing what you would have experienced had you not become associated with the materializing processes. I act in this capacity as a midwife at your birth into form. I am an angel of destiny, a messenger from the stars, but I am also the reflection of your unity before and after matter. I am here to enter your consciousness, here to wake you up. Blending with you now in this communication that is also communion, I can sense a forthcoming period of union. I sense its strange and awesome realities. I feel like an explorer in some vast and uncharted land. Are you aware of the uniqueness of physical reality? I sense both pleasure and pain at my entry into your events. I sense pain at the potential I see wasted and at my own commission to verbalize. But I sense pleasure at what I am experiencing through your senses. For though your sensory channels are in your exclusive dependence on them, your greatest limitation, they are also marvelous instruments of perception. They are truly your crowning virtue as well as your tragic flaw. This is the first time that I have had the opportunity to perceive reality in this manner. I have never seen the structure of time and space reduced to such intricate and beautiful patterns. I would look out of our eyes for a while and take in the colors and the room and the trees outside the window, and delight in the curious way you perceive light as illumination. I would love to explore your world in a playful and childlike fashion. I can better understand now how you are deceived, such a deep realm of awesome forces, the material plane. Yet you will not be able to continue here much longer if we don't get on with the business at hand. Much that I am now seeing will not survive many more years of human ignorance. It is important that we use this time to supply you with the information you need. It is important that we restore you as this central control mechanism of this planet to a proper state of function. Perhaps a day will come after all has been set to right again when we can spend some time together just enjoying the wonders of creation. I would delight in an opportunity to travel about with you, seeing what you would show me out of your eyes, hearing what you hear with your ears, feeling the touch of earth on that wonderful substance that is at once both sun and stone. But now there is work to be done. We must forge the conceptual tools that will set you free. Chapter 2, The Other Reality. In your natural state of being, you have no sense of identity distinct from the Creator, except when you are engaged in a relationship. On this level of being, identity comes into focus only in the context of a relationship with some other aspect of being that has become objectified, much as my identity as an angelic messenger comes into being through my relationship with you. When such a relationship is not taking place, that particular expression of you simply does not exist. You float effortlessly in the potential of God. You are not annihilated, but all definitions of you are, and you are released from their restraining influence, allowed to expand into a state of love and perfection. By and by, if it should happen that you are needed for a particular function, you will still be there, for your form identity is a specific cell in a specific organ of a larger being. When the next energizing impulse comes, it also brings your definition and instruction. You come into the necessary degree of focus for whatever is required. Throughout the course of your existence, you continually oscillate like the wave function that you essentially are, in and out of focus, in and out of definition, always moving back and forth, like the pendulum on a clock or the heart of an atom, out of the unity of being with God, into a finite expression of God's infinite potential, and then back into unity once more, back and forth, back and forth. This is the natural rhythm of your existence, just as it is of mine. It is the song of God, the rhythm of life itself. Whenever the divine impulse calls upon your services and brings you into form, you encounter other beings of infinite variety on errands and excursions in worlds of love and light that are impossible to describe. As this happens, you experience, for the duration of your contact, both an identity and a linear time world. But in the course of your encounter, you are still aware of your unity with the Creator. You do not lose the certainty of your oneness with God. You are aware of your form identity and of the motion of time. Yet you oscillate faster than the speed of light, back and forth between your pre-manifest state and your species role form.